Welcome to the Bumper Breakfast. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. And of course, at about this time, every Monday through Friday, we usually bring you stories in the papers. It's the 22nd of August, just the day after my birthday. And I'm excited to be here with you this great morning. I'm so glad I'm here. Feeling all fly and cool and refreshed and maybe I still want to do a little bit of the Owambe thing that I couldn't do yesterday because it was a Sunday. So maybe we'll turn the Bumper Breakfast this morning into a party, and the people on the set with me are going to sing for me, and I will dance, and then they will spray me money, because the spraying of the money was what I was waiting for yesterday. It didn't happen. We can still we can do a do-over. We'll do a do-over so that they have the opportunity now physically to spray me money. Yeah, they can. I'm sure. Nika Kenny. Good morning. Do it.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Your purse is nowhere near this place.
My what?
I take accounts balance. I take transfer.
I rest my case on this birthday because
they used to spray money when people do birthday. They'll just be spraying them.
Let me say happy birthday in arrears. I just rest my case on. We have the person that counts money on the table here. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Maybe
he knows what you are talking about. But for me,
my name is Olusha Sokwade. Good morning.
Good morning, Thomas. Let me wish you happy birthday. This is the best month you can talk about in the year.
We feel special. We know.
And we know ourselves the way we groove, the way we.
We're August babies. Special baby.
And I keep telling every individual, I don't know right from the creation of
there's
the
no
earth.
May, there's no.
They always tell you that
December.
I'm expecting an August visitor.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing August visitor in October, in December, in February.
We're still relevant throughout the year.
I make inquiry. Why are you saying August visitor? You said, are they born in August? I said no. August connotes special. So everyone giving birth to that month, special. So happy special birthday to a special person. Born in the special month, created by special God. It is special manner.
It's a special morning.
And on the other, it's we don't do physical spraying. The CBN policy. You don't spray money at the party so that they don't go after you.
I have barcode.
So the only thing you do is, you use POS.
No, I have barcode.
You use barcode.
I have. Okay.
But definitely it will
open your account. I have barcode.
No. The one on this phone does not have a barcode.
Okay. Do you have short? We can use
USSD. This one too does not. The account where it is funded, you don't open it online. So, but definitely it will be treated. We are special people and we need to celebrate ourselves.
Special.
Yeah, I'm there. Kemi is there.
David.
Name it. I have two of my boss today.
Really?
And one of our friends in the journalism world, CKN, today is his birthday.
No, that's true. Let's give a shout out to he's a senior, very, very senior colleague, Chris Kende Wandu. He's a very, very good friend of. He's 55 today. Yes. Happy birthday, CK.
He happens to be the president of my alumni, so we are always celebrating him. So you can now see that everyone surrounding Yinka Kenny is August. She's still out there.
This is a wonderful friend.
She's a Nigerian baby.
Nigerian baby, and you know what Nigeria has turned to now. Let's have the headline.
I read your newspaper this morning.
Don't worry, a Nigerian baby. We understand your situation and your predicament. We have a way of helping you deal with it. All right, the Guardian newspaper is where we go this morning with the banner headline: Stranded Fund Foreign Airlines Withdrawal to cost Nigeria $1.36 billion. Air transport in death throes as more carriers consider exit over $464 million stock fund. Hurdles for Airpays SAA as South Africa restrains visas to Nigerian travelers. Stakeholders warn of losing Nigerian market to neighboring countries, seek caution engagement with operators. 2 days to 5G rollout. MTN claims readiness. Mitv targets January 2023. $418.9 million Paris Club refund. Governors charge GF consultant to await appeal court verdict. Impeach Buhari for gross incompetence. That's the editorial of the Guardian newspaper. Monkeypox infections deaths soar. Cuba, Indonesia record index cases. Igbo Day, Hoanese denies inviting Obi, Tinubu, Atiku. And you have 2023 election results will be transmitted electronically, INEC clarifies. I have the Nation newspaper, electronic transmission of results days, says INEC, no manner system next year. CSOs demand compliance with Electoral Act. Why inflation won't drop now by experts. PDP crisis, Wike insists on IUSAC makes concessions. APC campaign, Keyamo Alake, Ononuga to lead media directorate. And SEC seeks tax exemption for corporate bonds. My faith in judiciary unshaken, says Oyetola. And civil society to mobilize against us. Reps take MPA probe to London.
All right, the Punch newspaper is coming with the lead story. 578-day strikes. Angry lecturers dumping varsities. ASU laments, and government's shoddy treatment pushing lecturers out of varsity system. That's ASU president talking right now. And 70% of bright, promising young lecturers leaving Nigeria, says UNILAG ASU chair. Federal government to pay varsities management's 170 billion naira and allowances. Others. And the picture story this morning, the story has been in the news all over the weekend. And last week, a military ends a siege to Somali hotel, 21 dead. And Ikoyi building subscribers to Lagos seek compensation. Black marketer's wife, children die in Lagos explosion. And 353 Kirikiri inmates on death row, says NCOs. And beside the nameplate, Kayamo is talking here saying that many civil society organizations are PDP members in disguise. And above the nameplate, we have undisbursed loans push Nigeria's World Bank debt to $21 billion. And federal government concludes takeover over 4 discos and $418 million. That's Malawi has abandoned AGF role, says NGF. All right, that's all on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And the Nigerian Tribune has the Paris Club refund as its lead story for $118 million Paris Club refund. Governors release names of consultants and amounts collected. Say $100 million not collected to finance elections. It's apparent consultants can't refund money paid to them. That's coming from the spokesman. And resident doctors extend strike ultimatum by 2 weeks. SSANU and NASU can't run universities without ASU. Yes, because that's coming after the SSANU and NASU calling off the strike. How COVID-19 insecurity render businesses inactive in 17 free trade zones. And electronic transmission of election result has come to stay. That's INEC talking. I think that will bring to rest the back and forth where people are talking about misinterpreting the INEC chairman's statement on electronic transmission. And below the nameplate, we have Ogun Cargo Airport to accommodate commercial flights coming from Dakwa Abiodun and Dogari. Pardon me, please. Dogara petitions IGP alleges threat to life investigation ongoing. That's coming from police. And withholding over $600 million trapped funds can affect foreign investment in Nigeria, says Foreign Airlines president. Above the nameplate, NDLEA intercepts 2.3 million tablets of opioids going to 7 northern states. Arrest grandpa who ships illicit drugs to daughter in Dubai. On Haneze Indigo, leaders disagree over Tinubu, Atiku, and Obi. All right, that's all the stories we have on the front page of Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right, let's take a look at the aviation sector this morning. And force stranded fund foreign airlines withdrawal to cost Nigeria $1.36 billion. It seems the air transport is about to hit the rocks because as at September 1st, certain airlines have insisted, Emirates, for example, have insisted they would exit the Nigerian market because funds that have been accrued to them over a long period of time, about $90 billion as far as Emirates, for example, is concerned, has not been repatriated back. These funds accrue in foreign currency. Now, Nigerians, rather than using this route, would travel to the foreign countries like Cotonou, like Togo, to go board the same flights. It looks as if our problems are about to skyrocket.
Well, it's not about to skyrocket, but as we speak, I think we are in a serious dilemma. And practically, I doubt if there is anything working. This foreign exchange of a thing has become a problem that the government themselves does not even understand how to go about it. And if you look at, you are just looking at the foreign airlines, even the local airlines are not finding it interesting.
Yeah.
I can tell you in the last few months, it's been pretty difficult for me to even travel to Abuja. Every appointment I've decided and resorted to having an online meeting. Because you look at it practically, to fly to Abuja as we speak will cost you an average of between 150 and 180, a return ticket. You have, if you are to stay a night there, none of those days we just move to Abuja in the morning.
And travel back.
In the evening, you are
Of
back.
course, it's almost impossible right now.
Those are the days when you fly with a 38, 40,000. You know, you can afford to do that even 2-3 times a week, knowing fully well that. And that's like just you are spending on just a trip. What will cover you for a week, you do on a trip. Not to talk about other cost implication. Sincerely speaking to me, saying, as an analyst, I'm even confused the way and manner our leaders are handling several things that has to do with citizens. The road is unmotorable for us to ply. Insecurity has deterred us. The last resort is airline, and that is an area, a no-go area for an average person to go.
Who wants to travel?
I have a conference coming up in October in Abuja, and this is where we muzzle, professionals to go and attend. But it's been pretty difficult to convince them, because if you must go for the conference, you need to have as much as 500,000.
And then it's so bad because you can't even book ahead of time right now.
They are not even opening the portal. Those days you can have I remember conferences that will have around October, September. By July, you book your flight, your ticket, and you are secure that those early risers, as you now approach those periods, might keep increasing. And you see the bucket at which you do those things. The economy is not friendly. Those in businesses are not finding it funny to travel here and there. And this business stuff is global. You don't just have to stay in a place for the business to succeed. So if all the foreign airlines are actually putting their way out because of certain funds that they expect that we should repatriate back to them,
and we've not been able to do that for the inavailability of the dollar.
Yeah, it is affecting their own business operation. And no businessman will want to venture or continue to go in the route of people owing in. If I'm transacting business with you and you are not paying me back, I won't want to continue to invest in such business any longer. It's quite disheartening that we'll find ourselves in this kind of scenario, knowing fully well the average Nigerians are mobile.
But then let me cut in, because in 2016 we were here where certain foreign airlines departed the Nigeria, aviation market over something similar, common. The well-to-do Nigerian would not be affected by this, because all they would do is to just travel to the next country and use the foreign currency which they have in keeps to, move wherever they want to go. But you see, the bad part is, how do you tell me that the dollar is scarce and the aboki on the streets of Lagos, the aboki on the streets of Abuja, their bookie in practically every town that is a capital in a commercial city in Nigeria has it. And you see, it doesn't take them more than 10 minutes to mop up $1,000, thousands of dollars for you to do business.
Yeah.
So how then do you say it's scarce?
It's you see, it's their business. You know, the Bureau de Change is an arm of the government.
Yes.
That we expect to carry out that stuff, even though they have restriction between at which they have access to that funds from the CBN. But one thing that is sure is, we have said it, the window between the parallel market and the official rate is wide. So I give you a practical example. If I get the official rate for dollars to carry out a business that will be happening in the next 1 month, you know, I can multiply that funds and have enough gain. 415 to 700. It's just to like, can you transact this, sell to you and get back, you know, within a week, you do that, make 200 naira on each dollar. You can even crash it on you and say, I won't sell 700. Can you do it for like 650? And you are making a huge margin of close to 200 naira. You do that on every dollar that you are sending. The guy is getting it back to you. You send to another person, he got it back. Within the time that you will need it, you already make margin, good profit for yourself before you utilize it. And that's why we've said, can we collapse the gap between the official rate for dollar and the parallel market? Let the forces of demand and supply make its way. So if you have a dollar, you know, with you, you go to the market, you dispose it off. If I need to get it, so if you have so much in circulation, the law of economics, demand and supply in economics, when you have so much supply and there is lesser demand, definitely the price will crash. When the other time, maybe, you know, it's seasonal. Some of these products are, some of these things that has to do with forex are seasonal. There are times you need huge investments to pump certain things. So there might be scarcity. You can observe that that will go on. If government choose at that point in time to cushion it because of the exigency of that particular, they can go ahead and do. Otherwise, if you buy it at 300, you know, per dollar at a particular time because the supply outweigh the demand, and now the demand is outweighing the supply, you are buying at 600 naira, definitely you know how to balance it. But situation where the parallel market is as huge as 700, the official rate is about 415, the wide gap is there, and the official rate you are not getting it. Those that are getting it are even using it to trade before they make use of that particular thing. This will continue, and that's why we have said as analysts, let's crash the foreign exchange window market. Let it be a free flow. If today is up, everybody observe that, yes, there is need for it to up. And so if I have dollar, I can pump it in. We have more supply. The business owner that needs it can go ahead and make some of those things. But the way and manner the handlers of our economy are actually managing this is becoming scarce. I had a friend of mine that said it was pretty difficult for her to, even so, he's into oil and gas. It's difficult for him to source about $5,000 to carry out a transaction, even from the parallel market at the rate that he would have loved to even get it. So the problem is compounding day by day, and I think it's high time government looked at some of those policies that they feel that analysts has provided that seems not interesting to them as an alternative. You cannot be doing the same thing the same way and expect different results. You must go different routes to see how else can we do this in an alternative
which brings
manner.
me to the question of the CBN, because then I'm confused how the CBN governor who comes up with these policies, you know, devaluation of the naira. Now, if you pump out all of these dollars, obviously the naira would weaken further. That's exactly what it means. The naira will weaken further. I'm just wondering how this man goes to sleep at night, because if President Muhammadu Buhari is not reading the papers and is practically not flying commercial, no member of his family is flying commercial, no aide of his is truthful enough to tell him, oh God, this is what is happening around. And then the man that is saddled with the responsibility of handling our foreign exchange or our currency, our banking activities and all that, is also sitting preaching in his office and saying that he's doing the best he can. Oh, last week he said that we're going to be using USSD now to trade the e-naira. I mean, I'm just wondering if is somebody sleeping, or somebody is in a deep slumber.
Tommy, so the truth of it is that how much of it do you want to blame the CBN government? I don't have him to blame. The nation on its own is lacking what we in the business world call, an atmosphere where you domesticate some of the things you have. It is only in this part of this climb you have resources, raw materials, and the process that we have in economics. When you talk of the factor of production, the man, which is the manpower, the method, the material, of all this, we have the raw material, one of the aim. We have the manpower. Let's throw a banter now and say we want to recruit 5 people to work in this organization. You won't get less than 20,000 applicants applying for that job.
Definitely.
So it's to tell you that we have manpower that can do that thing. The only thing we are lacking that is creating problem for us in this country is the process. That's the method of doing some of these things. So you see us having our crude oil have to ship out of the country for processing, and we get the finished product. How do you create such? We are now import dependent on everything we do. And when you are import dependent, what do you pay? We don't pay with naira, you don't pay with yen, you pay with dollars. Definitely. And that's part of the problem that we are faced with. Practically everything about us, the glasses we use, the shoe we wear, the air we use, everything
comes in with the foreign exchange.
Nothing is being produced locally. And if you look at the developed world, how have they been able to make it? Take, for example, China. They capitalized on the population, which is manpower, and the resources that they have locally, and putting the mechanism of processing that thing to become a productive nation. And with that, what you discover is that when you produce those things, you now sell out. When you sell out, you make more money. So, cushion your foreign exchange. So education is imported. You send your children out there. What do you use to pay for the education of your children out there? You don't use naira. You pay in dollars. Health system. Practically all our leaders, from the president to all his aides to those that are incoming, their physicians are not based in the country. It's out of the shop, this country. It's either they're in UK, they're in France, or everywhere. What do you use to pay them? The same foreign exchange. Tourism. You want to go for vacation. Practically everybody is out of the country as we speak because of the summer. What are they using to pay there? It's still the same dollar.
Which brings me to this question. Do you then think that the ECOWAS unified currency would solve most of these problems?
That we are even still going outside the scope of all this thing. Can we have some of this thing, domesticated within our own shore in such a way that you want to have your holiday? You are not afraid of insecurity. You can go to this place in Ondo, where you have the hot and the cold water. Act from Ikogusi. You can go to Yankari in Bauchi, where you have this. You can go to Olumo Rock. You can go to all those places. What you're doing is you are still circulating the currency, the funds within the nation.
And you definitely trade the naira, not the dollar.
So you are talking about naira. And 1 or 2 other people will benefit from that. And the way the cycle goes. When you go to Olumo and they know that people are coming for vacation, one woman is out by the door trying to sell water. The other one is out there to go and make some handcraft to sell to you. Because you have come for holiday, you must get things done. These are things that we do practically when we go outside the shop. And what you are doing is that you have actually taken our own money to that other country to improve their own economy one way or the other. So these are the problems we are faced with until we start domesticating the products and the things that we have in here. This problem will continue to do. As a nation, we don't even have air carrier. If you have an air carrier, if anybody wants to go, you pay in naira now. You don't have to be remitting to other people, that hard currency. It's our airline. Go to Dubai, the Emirates you're talking about. Do you know the number of airlines that they have? different, aside Emirates, people, those ones that fly domestically, if you go
within
to Dubai,
the country.
you'll be shocked about it.
I think the long and short of it all is that it's all encompassing, because even this airline you're talking about, we've been trying to fly our national carrier since.
Yeah.
I remember we talked about it, was it 2 years ago on this table, and I said, okay, let's wait and see. I think it's interwoven. It's I think if we can just begin to get it right in one aspect, everything will almost...
and the aspect is that all the things that we need to do, let's create a process where we can do it here in the country. It's as bad as...
or at least a big percentage, maybe a 40%.
Then you see, I think also there's a situation where we have sabotaging. Because that's so much of...
and I think that's in the attitude of Nigerians.
Yes, a lot of...
You see, when you talk about sabotaging, it's still about individuals. It's because when you sabotage your force and you mess up the process or the policies being put in place by the government, there is no punishment to serve as deterrent.
Or
if you know you're going to be punished,
there is no security system to even catch you sabotaging the process.
The process.
And if you are not caught through a security system, there is still no system to monitor and ensure that if such happens, such person can be found out.
So once you are able to identify the people sabotaging the effort and the policy of the government, and you bring them to justice, you and I, no other person will want to jilt himself into that particular thing. But you discover that most people will even cut away with our funds. I was reading, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that termites now eats money.
Oh my God.
We've heard about snake, we've heard about monkey.
You don't want to go there
so
this morning.
you ask yourself the question, those that did that in time past, what did we do to punish those that came out with that word? But because nothing was done to them, another person is coming to say termite is eating money and has ate over 17 billion. So wait for another few months, another person will come and tell us that the ant that eats sugar in your house has started eating money. And that will continue until we put a mechanism in place to checkmate the activities of those that I keep telling individual. Tomi Sinyika, this country is blessed.
It is.
I can tell you that if all the funds that have been misappropriated by our so-called leaders, 20% of it is being carried out not even pulled back, is done in United States of America. I'm telling you, they'll feel the impact.
Yeah, the economy.
But here, despite all that, we are still just keeping the faith and we are moving.
And you know, the truth is, we are a chopping economy. We're a chopping group of people every time. Yeah, I'm serious.
Of course.
Nigerians do not feel that money is spent until they see the money flowing on the streets and they are able to chop it. So, for example, we were having a conversation and somebody with a quick analysis, and we're saying, what exactly has the President Muhammadu Buhari's government done in the 7 years and a half that he's been there? And we're able to reel out so many infrastructural projects that money has been sunk into. Now, the question is, Nigerians say, but we can't say it. But the person who lives in this place says, I can say it. Now, the person who lives in this place says, I can say it. But then it all comes down to the common denominator for the common Nigerian. The money is not flowing.
No. I think the main problem we have about that, because I've heard a lot of narratives about that also, and I've been on several tables interviewing, analysts, getting their view about all of this. And one thing I can bring out of, all the opinion that I have is that it all bounces back to the fact, to the insecurity, aspect. The insecurity in Nigeria as of today is overwhelming, and because
Shuts people's hands.
yes, it's shifting the attention of people, away from many.
Then they say they are not doing anything.
Yinka, I won't want you to go.
No, they're saying they're not doing anything.
No,
They are doing a lot, but insecurity is not allowing us.
Yes.
Let me give you a practical
narrative.
example. On the aspect of the trade between Kaduna and Abuja, that's an infrastructure that is fantastic.
Yes.
Warri Takbe.
Exactly.
Lagos Ibadan. But how many people patronizes that area? As a matter of fact, since March, we've shut down Kaduna Abuja rail.
Honestly,
because of
resumed
insecurity.
They resumed back.
When?
About 2 months ago, July.
No.
They were to. As at last week, the information is I doubt.
Yes, they were to resume.
Really? Because I still have someone who traveled to Abuja and was to have a meeting at Kaduna, and she was like, it was like you will go by road, and our friends are like, are you on suicide mission to move on that road, Kaduna, Abuja? And I'm like, why are you not using the train? So it's yet to be operational.
Yeah.
So, and you know, that's part of the problem we are faced with when it now comes to debt. You know, we used debt to actually finance that. And for we in the finance world, there should be a constant revenue on monthly basis.
I think that was the argument of federal government, you know, when they wanted to, you know, reopen it. And I think Nigerians and, you know, experts came, you know, at them to say that what have we put in place in form of security
measures.
Yes, what have you done differently? How are we sure that there won't be a reoccurrence of what actually happened and all of that? And also coming to the sentimental part that you still have
some of those victims of, you know, being held,
being held and all of that. So I think there was a rethink or something, and
that's another problem we really do have, because if the government wants to reopen the rail and the issue of insecurity has not been fixed, you know, I see this government as a government that bows to pressure more than fixing problems. So, yeah, sincerely. So, for example, let's look at the Lekki Toll Plaza, for example. It's a revenue generation for Lagos State government. But sincerely, because of the issue that happened, the NSAS and all of that happened after NSAS, the government, each time they want to reopen the Lekki Toll Plaza, people come up and say it is not fair. Now, it is business. Now, the Lagos State government has not been able to make money from that plaza, but they are paying the company that put up that road. Whether they like it or not, money is still sinking in. They have to look for money. Same way with the Abuja Kaduna road. We're servicing the debt. We are paying money on our debt profile.
Tommy saying you will, you know, let me take you up from the Kaduna, Abuja Kaduna train, you know, incident. Honestly, at times that is just like the family setting. You have to weigh everything, you know, on a scale of preference. You have to weigh, you know, we cannot say because we want to do business, we continue to put the lives of people at risk.
So why is the government not fixing it? That's the problem.
That's it. So I will not you know, share the opinion that they are bowing to pressure. Let us,
that means they are not ready to fix the problem.
Given a benefit of doubt, let's say that probably they are looking for a way to, you know, fix whatever, you know, needs to be fixed and all of that.
Kaduna has a formation of military men. Abuja does the same. This is passing through. It's passing through the bush.
You forget that even the military training center at Kaduna was.
That's what I'm saying. Ambushed. They kidnapped somebody. No, not an ambush. They kidnapped one person from that military center. We should have tightened the security so far. But what I'm saying is this: you still have the military formation. At least the people you're sending to Operation Hadinkai or Adarin Daji are from somewhere. Now, if you're sending them out there to go to, what would it cost to have a chopper, a military chopper, trail that train when it is leaving Abuja? After all, when they are not in Ada and Kai, they are sitting down operational in their offices. Yeah. What would it cost to put a military chopper on top of that train? Let it follow them to Abuja, let it come back with them to Lagos. What would it cost?
You see, it will cost so much.
Yes, it's easier. There's some things that because we
said our dearest former Minister of Transportation said he needs drone. We said it's too expensive.
That's an area I'm going. You see, we are short-sighted when we're doing certain things. We should look for something that will last longer than an immediate solution. If you decide to run a chopper from Abuja,
immediate solution.
You know, that's
before you get money to buy drone.
You see, everything is going technological these days, and you can monitor those things.
Technology after the. Are you saying that they should put the drone, and then when those guys want to kidnap people from the train, the drone will now help you to trace?
It's not just. It's
they
not
shoot
just.
down
See,
drones.
it's not just. It's not just
some
a
of those
drone.
things we cannot really say because we look at it from the layman's eye. But I want to believe that so many things go into all of this. The security experts,
Yes.
they know. I want to believe. Let me watch the word I'm using this morning. I want to believe that they are in the field and they see
But this
better.
government is engaging them is what I am concerned with.
That's an
Are you
area-
sure
that's an
this
area I want to
government
say, yeah,
is
and
engaging
listening
them and listening to them?
to the professionals that will provide the
Asking
solution.
questions and not sitting on
Because-
the table to take decisions.
Because a lot is happening, and I
Yeah.
can
You
tell
can't
you
tell
in
me that the
business
chief of air
space,
staff, the chief of naval staff, the chief of army staff, all of them cannot come up with a solution. I mean, if you have a military breakdown or a security breakdown, those are the people that should be on your table, not your national security advisor.
Tell me, we have gone over this over the years.
I'm just surprised.
but we just need
But
to
they're
find
doing
solution
well.
because
They're actually
it's-
doing well. They're going into the enclaves now in Kaduna and they are getting people that were kidnapped.
And as
out.
far as I'm concerned, we are overstretching the military. And each time we come about it is, when you stretch your military this far, is when you are at war. And the
Yeah.
government will tell you that we are not at war. And we are stretching our military
This
operation this much, is to tell you how terrible it has been. And that's why we have said, can we do something differently? Approach the likes of developed world like Israel. How are they doing it outside the scope to see how they can assist? Because the number of the military personnel that we lost every time is huge to me. Practically every day. We only announce the one that we read on the newspaper. There are some that
No, as a matter of fact, they only announce the ones that are officers already, the ones that are below that
may not be recognized. So you discover that practically every day, and nobody is interested in joining military like we used to do. I remember those days, it was a pride. You want to go to NDA, you want to go to military school because you have a future that I want to be there. But the level at which these people are being stretched, they are supposed to come out when we are in the season of war and for external protection. But now we are having internal crisis. It's meant strictly for the police formation. Police they are just overstretched, and now we need the support of the military. And as we speak, the military themselves, all the arms, whether Navy, whether the Army, whether Air Force, they themselves are overstretched. And that's why we're saying, can we look at things we can do differently? You are talking about, should it be an atmosphere of saying, use drone to now trace, and later, if you are able, you see, you can do that at the first, second time. Trace and nip it at the board. But that will give you the level.
Do you know how long to take the people to go and rescue if something happens while the drone is tracing?
When you're talking about the drone that we have now, it is not the one that they use for video coverage.
Of course.
We have so many of artificial intelligence that you can program certain things in them and carry out certain action. He may not eat, he may not shoot, he may not do anything. But there are certain things you do, and those funny elements that you're talking about, when they feel the action, they get a repulsive one and say, oh, something is happening. See, if everyone is being monitored, and you know those things will follow through, definitely you will see. What we want first is reduce the level. These guys are having a fun field day. They will tell you we want to do this, and they will carry it out without anybody checkmating them.
And they will threaten everybody.
You know, there's a situation where you can checkmate the activity.
So as we round off, I want you to hit on this topic. The crisis of Plateau State in the days of retired General Olusegun Obasanjo when he was president of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007. The crisis in Plateau, was it as much as, can you compare quickly, as much as the crisis in Kaduna State now? I remember that Obasanjo declared a state of emergency in Plateau then. Yeah,
we sincerely speaking, we can't compare them. What we are experiencing in Kaduna now is massive. Even the governor
now, so it's saying that it is massive. This government has not put anything in place. No state of emergency. Nothing has been done in that place except what has been done.
I'm sure it's the report from the security agency to the president. The president just don't wake up and declare state of emergency.
Yeah.
You must have reports
Governor
leading to say
is crying out on a daily basis.
Even when he cries out,
exactly.
The NSA, the security details will definitely advise the governor or the president, sir, with all this noise that we're getting from this governor, this is the action we expect you to take. Then he'll not digest and still doesn't work.
Still not do anything.
I want to believe that. I don't
still
think
not do anything.
He may not. I don't think that report is on the table of the president to declare state of emergency. But you know, for someone like Obasanjo, I want to say it on record. Obasanjo gets involved in activity himself. He doesn't wait for you to come and give a story.
And they both retired major generals?
They are two different personalities.
Okay. But I thought President Muhammadu Buhari tell us was going to go to the theater of war, you know, as a commander when he was going to become president.
And how many of that have you seen being brought to bear?
Okay.
You know, if you look at their individual personality, don't take it out. Obasanjo as an individual is outspoken and he gets involved. Our current president is a very reserved military person. It might be very, very hard, but the truth of it is that you can't compare those two personalities. And in everything you do, your personality speaks volume than whatever process and system you would have put in place. You might get somewhere and you'll be very reserved, and Yinka will get there and they will know that somebody has arrived. That's your personality in place on your field. These two people, let's compare them. They are two different personalities with two different traits, with two different characters.
Anyway, rounding off, I would say that's not an excuse. I would have wanted him to talk about the federal government taking over discourse. That is honestly.
You can just leave those on for,
you want to put him in trouble. You want to come and talk about something that will affect him.
Leave matter for Mataya.
You see why she doesn't like you?
Leave matter for Mataya.
That's his field now. So one of his fields, rather. Yeah, so I would have wanted him to talk about it.
Inga Kenny, how do we close this morning?
Okay, let me just close on a merry note to say once again I want to wish my friend and senior colleague. Should I say Colin CKN, my senior colleague? It sounds somehow in my mouth.
I know.
Silly boy, because he's a very good friend. I want to say happy birthday to you, CKN. Enjoy many, many more years ahead of you. My name is Yinka Ken.
And on a final note, I just want every individual to create the happiness themselves. Life is worth living if you make yourself happy. There's a problem now, but there's always light behind the tunnel. Even if you're not seeing the light, try and use the torchlight.
And don't forget that monkeypox is very much here. Countries are beginning to declare index cases. Nigeria's cases are rising. So it's time to go back to the COVID measures. Wash your hands. Don't put your hand on your face. Don't touch just every surface. Just keep yourself safe and keep yourself clean at all times. Have a beautiful day. I am Tomisi Adepokola. Bye for now.
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win.
We got a emergency, girlfriend.
Keep up with me, come on, let's go. Keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get in. I'ma keep winning till the world stops.
Wow, you look great. Did you just come from the salon?
Darling Superstar, braids that stay salon fresh no matter what.